What's up, guys? Today we have a brand new video. Today we are going to be talking about Lamont Roach versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz. It's going down in San Antonio, Texas at the Frost Bank Center, PBC on Prime pay-per-view. And this is one of the better fights of the year. An overall very well-balanced card. Obviously, we're having some issues with the co-main, but still, you have Stephen Fulton, the Shockey Foster, Frank Martin returning. So it should be a good night of boxing. And the main event itself is, a really good fight. Two, decently big names, competitive, and you don't really know who's going to win, but I do have my prediction, and I'm going to be breaking down why I think Lamont Roach is going to beat Pitbull Cruz. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a complete domination. I don't think a stoppage is going to happen, but I'm going to say maybe if a 117, 111, 116, 112, maybe 118, 110. So not a complete shutout, but I think a close but clear win for Lamont's unanimous decision. And I'm going to break down why I think that. So first, Lamont has the skills needed and the style needed to neutralize a pressure fighter like Isaac Cruz, right? So Pitbull Cruz is a guy, he fights downhill, um, you know, kind of goes forward one direction. He's not really, I mean, he'll kind of fight at some different angles on the inside, but he's not um, exactly the most dynamic fighter, right? It's a lot of forward pressure, a lot of fighting on the inside, kind of fighting, head to head with lots of wide hooks. And I think Roach can neutralize that. Now, he does not have the best jab, and he does kind of, when he exits, kind of goes back in a straight line. So there are openings for Pitbull to tag Roach, right? This is why I don't think it's going to be a complete shutout. However, Roach is a disciplined fighter. He's capable of fighting on the inside. He is good defensively, right? He does not make a whole lot of defensive lapses that we saw in the Tank fight. When Tank was turning up the pressure in those late rounds, like the ninth round, Roach was able to keep up well. And Roach is good at countering and responding with heat, even if he himself is not exactly a power puncher. He has enough power to gain respect, and he's also, shown that he can fight on the inside as well. And I also think that Roach's size is going to really help him in this fight. Pitbull's undersized at 140. I would have personally preferred this fight take place at 135, but even at 135, Roach is the bigger man. He is currently weighs more. They did a 2 week check-in recently, and I think that's going to hurt Pitbull. Um, Roach is going to be able to disrupt his rhythm using his jab. He's um, going to be able to kind of smother Roach on the inside. I mean, Cruz when he comes in with the clinch. I think Roach is, going to have to utilize the clinch. It might not be the most entertaining fight, but I think Pitbull is going to have trouble with Roach's size. And Roach has already proven that he can deal with Cruz's power, which in my opinion is a little bit overrated, right? We look at Cruz's recent performances on the Pacquiao undercard against Omar Salido, decision, Angel Fierro, which was a great back and forth fight, but Cruz was not a super dominant fighter. That's another decision. Losing to El Rayo Venezuela in a loss that didn't exactly age very well. Obviously, the stoppage over Rolly was one of his better wins in his career. But we look at Roach is not a one hit stop, kind of one hit put your lights out kind of guy. He's more of an accumulation damage, kind of wears you down over the fight, sort of like a David Benavidez. And I don't think that Roach's power. I just don't see him getting an accumulation stoppage, and I don't see him outboxing uh, Roach. So I just, the path to victory for Cruz is it's not really clear in my opinion, which is why I am predicting Roach to win. And also Roach in general has a higher ring IQ. As I've said before, Pitbull's kind of a limited fighter. He is one dimensional. He is, kind of got exposed by El Rayo. And when you stick to your game plan, you're solid defensively, and you don't let him get Cruz kind of go downhill on the inside, it can be a long night for Pitbull. And as we've seen, the power is not exactly as devastating, especially at 140, as people say. So yeah, and also with that blueprint being laid out of Cruz being outboxed, he did get outboxed by a Gervonta Davis with one hand, outboxed by El Rayo. I just don't think. I think this is Cruz, my bad, Roach's fight to lose, and I just don't see it happening. So yeah. Anyway, just a quick summary though of the keys to victory for Lamont Roach in this fight. We're going to be doing controlling distance, using his jab, and when he's exiting, using angles, pivoting out, and on the inside, a lot of clinch work, kind of short uppercuts, short hooks to disrupt Cruz's timing. As we know, he likes to go in with kind of these wider hooks, load up, kind of get low in his base. So yeah, disrupt when Cruz is trying to go downhill, and obviously keeping calm. Um, and I think we'll know from the beginning whether the pressure from Pitbull is a problem for Lamont. But anyway, guys, final prediction. I'm going Lamont Roach decision, 117, 111, as I said earlier. And this is going to put Lamont in a good position, either for a Tank rematch if Tank doesn't retire, which, in my opinion, he's probably done with boxing, or it could set him up for maybe a fight with Shakur Stevenson, who's going up to 140 to fight Teofimo. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of good options for Lamont if he wins this fight. And if Cruz can pull off the upset, that would put him in conversation for a Tank rematch. Also, maybe another showdown with Shakur Stevenson or Teofimo Lopez. But yeah, anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this matchup. Do you agree with my assessment? And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later.